The birth chamber in the medical center had been specially prepared. Both human and cell doctors stood ready, though none truly knew what to expect from the galaxy's first hybrid birth. After 6 hours of labor, a cry filled the room. Not the musical tones of a cell infant, nor exactly like a human baby, but something uniquely in between. "A girl," announced Dr. Hana, placing the newborn on Nera's chest. June leaned close, tears in his eyes. The baby had skin with a light blue tint that seemed to shimmer slightly in the light. Her eyes, when they briefly opened, were clearly human in shape, but with the opalescent quality of cell eyes. 10 perfect fingers, though her feet had the distinctive cell arch. "What will you name her?" Dr. Hana asked. June and Nera exchanged a look. They had discussed this for months. "Ta," they said together. Dr. Hana's eyes widened. "You know this means blessing in ancient cell." "It means the same in Korean," June explained. "We discovered the coincidence while researching names. It seemed perfect." News of Ta's birth spread across the galaxy within hours. The medical team released only basic information. Mother and child were healthy, the birth had proceeded normally, and the child showed stable genetic markers from both species. At home in their apartment overlooking the crystal forest, June and Nera adjusted to life as parents. Floating light sculptures, a traditional cell gift for newborns, hung above Ta's crib, changing colors in response to her emotions. "She has your curiosity," Nera observed one morning as Tai reached eagerly for the dancing lights. "And your patience," June replied with a smile, remembering how many hours Nera had spent teaching him cell customs. When Tai was 3 months old, they held the traditional cell naming ceremony. What would normally have been a small family event became a galactic affair. 3 planetary leaders attended: the Cell High Counselor, the Earth President, and the Vega Prime Minister. "Today we celebrate not just a child, but a new beginning," the Cell High Counselor announced to the gathered crowd. "Ta represents hope for many worlds." In the audience sat scientists, diplomats, and families from 12 species. Some had traveled for weeks to witness the ceremony. After the formal naming, the Earth President took June aside. "Your daughter has changed humanity's place in the galaxy," she said. "Earth was once considered a backwater planet of little consequence. Now we're seen as a critical ally to species facing extinction." June watched as Nera showed Ta to a group of cell elders. "It wasn't planned," he admitted. "The best diplomacy rarely is," the president replied with a smile. By the time Tay turned 1 year old, 7 research centers across the galaxy were studying human genetic adaptability. The medical advances came quickly. 3 previously incompatible species had successful pregnancies using treatments developed from studying Ta's genetic structure. As her first birthday approached, Ta began taking her first steps. June and Nera watched in wonder as she toddled across their living room, falling often but always getting back up. On the day of her birthday celebration, representatives from 7 worlds gathered beneath the crystal arches of the Solarian capital. As Tai took her wobbly steps toward a table of gifts, the delegates signed the Genetic Cooperation Treaty, an agreement that would share research and resources to help all member species. That evening, June and Nera stood on their balcony watching the 3 moons rise. Ta slept peacefully in her room, surrounded by gifts from across the galaxy. "Do you ever regret being assigned to this planet?" Nera asked, her skin glowing with the soft blue light of contentment. June wrapped his arm around her shoulders, thinking of how a routine diplomatic posting had changed not just his life, but potentially the future of multiple species. "Not for a single moment," he replied, knowing that sometimes the most remarkable journeys begin with a simple diplomatic assignment. In her crib, Ta smiled in her sleep, dreaming in colors no single species had ever seen before. She stood in the center of his living room, her eyes shifting from blue to gold, and back again. "You got me pregnant, human," she announced without warning. Her voice mixed shock and happiness in equal measure. June nearly spilled his morning coffee. "That's That's impossible. The xenobiologists at our species couldn't. Apparently they were wrong. Nara cut him off, holding out a small crystal device. She touched its surface, and a 3D image appeared showing something that looked like a cell dividing. The Cell Medical Council has verified it 3 times. They're calling it a biological miracle. June sat down hard on his couch, staring at the image. How did this happen? We were told cross-species reproduction was impossible. No one knows for certain, Nara said, sitting beside him. Her skin had settled into a happy pink glow. That's why the medical teams are so excited. This has never happened before between any species in the galaxy. Within days, the news had spread across Xilarian. June found himself surrounded by medical specialists and government officials. Many wanted to study Nara like a science experiment, which made June protective and angry. She's a person, not a lab specimen, he told the Cell High Council. We will cooperate with research, but only with proper respect and care. Dr. Hanna, the head Excel geneticist, became their main medical contact. Unlike the others, she treated them with kindness and understanding. We've analyzed your cellular structure, she explained one day, showing them complex images. Your human DNA contains adaptation sequences we've never seen before. Somehow, instead of rejection, your genetic material recognized compatible patterns in Nara's and adapted to them. June shook his head in wonder. So humans are genetic chameleons. In a manner of speaking, yes, Dr. Hanna agreed. It's likely that Earth's many different environments over millions of years created this adaptation ability. It's remarkable, and could be the solution to a crisis we've faced for generations. Nara explained to June that cell birth rates had been dropping for centuries. Genetic problems meant many cell couples could not have children. Some scientists predicted the species would die out within 1,000 years. Our people are calling this the miracle of adaptation, Nara said, touching her still flat stomach. You've given us hope. Not everyone was happy. Nara's modeling agency called an emergency meeting, worried about the scandal of their top model becoming pregnant with an alien baby. This will ruin your career, her agent warned. The public will be disgusted. But the agent was wrong. When the news went public, the reaction was overwhelmingly positive. Cell Society, facing a population crisis, saw their relationship as a sign of hope. Nara's first public appearance after the announcement drew crowds that filled the streets of the capital city. The stars themselves have blessed this union, declared the High Priestess of Xilarian, placing her hands over Nara's middle in a traditional blessing ceremony. For June, the political implications were secondary to his personal concerns. Are you really okay with this? He asked Nara when they finally had a moment alone. Everything is happening so fast. Nara took his hand and placed it on her stomach. I have never been more certain of anything, she said. This child represents the future, not just our future, but the future of 2 species. That night, they sat on their favorite cliff, watching the 3 moons rise. For the first time since coming to Xilarian, Jun felt truly at home, not just as a diplomat, but as part of something much bigger than himself. What does your family on Earth think? Nara asked. June laughed. My mother always wanted grandchildren. She just never expected them to be part alien. And you, June Park, Nara said, her skin glowing softly in the moonlight. Did you ever expect to become a father on a distant world? No, he admitted, but sometimes the best journeys take us to places we never imagined going. Word of the miracle pregnancy spread faster than anyone expected. Within weeks, the news had traveled through the galactic communication network to reach distant worlds. June and Nara became known across the stars as the couple that changed biology. June sat in his office, staring at the growing list of meeting requests on his screen. Delegations from 12 different species wanted to speak with him about human genetic adaptability. Most came from worlds with similar reproductive problems to the Excel. Ambassador Park. His communication panel chimed. Priority message from Earth. Joan Park stood tall as the shuttle doors opened to reveal Solarian. The blue-green planet looked even more beautiful up close than in the videos he had studied. As the new human diplomat to this world, he had spent months learning about the XL people. His heart beat fast as he straightened his dark blue uniform and took his first steps onto alien soil. The air felt lighter than Earth's, with a sweet smell like flowers and spice. 2 suns hung in the sky, casting double shadows across the landing pad. The Xelarian capital city spread out before him, buildings that seemed to grow from the ground like crystal trees. Ambassador Park, welcome to Xelarian, a soft voice called. June turned and almost forgot how to breathe. Standing before him was a Xel female with skin like polished silver-blue metal that caught the light of both suns. Her eyes were large, with no whites, just pools of changing color that reminded him of opals. She wore simple white clothing that flowed around her tall, slender form. "You must be Nera," he said, remembering the name from his briefing files. The famous model. Her lips curved in what seemed to be a smile, though Xel facial expressions were still hard for him to read. "Yes, though today I am your guide, not a model." June knew that Nera's face appeared on beauty products sold across the galaxy. The XL were known for their beauty, and she was considered extraordinary even among her own kind. "Thank you for meeting me," June said, extending his hand before remembering that Xel did not shake hands. He quickly pulled back. "Actually," Nera said, looking at his hand with interest, "I have studied human customs. I believe this is how you greet each other." She extended her own hand, with its long, 6-fingered grace. Their handshake lasted only a moment, but Jun felt a strange tingling where their skin touched. He wondered if it was some natural feature of cell biology. "Your shuttle arrived early," Nera said. "We have time before your meeting with the council. Would you like to see the welcome gardens?" As they walked, Jun noticed other Xel watching them. Humans were still rare on Xelarian, and he felt like an exhibit in a zoo. "Your species fascinates us," Nara explained, noticing his discomfort. "Humans look similar to us in basic shape, but so different in details, and your planet is so far from the galactic center." In the garden, plants that looked like sea creatures swayed though there was no wind. Some glowed with their own light. "These all come from different worlds in our alliance," Nara said. "Each plant represents a species that joined our community." Jun pointed to an empty space. "Will Earth have a plant here soon?" "If the talks go well," she replied. "Your world is still being evaluated." As they turned down a crystal path, Jun tried to remember the proper Xel greeting from his training. He placed his right hand over his heart and bowed slightly to a passing Xel elder. The elder stepped back in shock. Nara's skin darkened to a deep blue, a sign of embarrassment, Jun recalled too late. "Ambassador," she said quietly, "that gesture is used only between life partners. It means my heart beats with yours." Jun felt his face grow hot. "I am so sorry. The training videos must have been wrong." To his surprise, Nara laughed, a sound like small bells. "This is why we need real cultural exchange, not just videos." She showed him the correct greeting, a simple open palm held at chest level. "Human adaptability is one trait we find most interesting," Nara said as they continued walking. "You learn quickly." "We've had to," Jun replied. "On Earth, we have thousands of cultures. We're always adapting to each other." As they approached the council building, Jun felt Nera watching him with her color-shifting eyes. "I think we will work well together, Ambassador Park," she said. "Most species take years to understand cell customs. You're already asking the right questions." Jun smiled, unaware that this meeting was the first step toward events that would change both their worlds forever. 3 months after Jun's arrival on Xelarian, his office walls were covered with star charts and cultural notes. He had learned much, but still felt he was only scratching the surface of Cell society. His daily meetings with Nara had become the highlight of his time on this alien world. "The Vex delegates are waiting," Nara said, entering his office without knocking. They had moved past such formalities weeks ago. June looked up from his tablet. "Are they still refusing the mineral rights agreement?" "Yes, they say the terms are unfair." Nara's skin had a dull sheen today, which June had learned meant stress or worry. "Then we'll find a fair solution," he said, standing up. June accepted the call. His superior, Director Kim, appeared on screen. The older woman looked both tired and excited. "June, you've become quite the celebrity across 3 star systems," she said without greeting. "Human genetic adaptability is now our most valuable diplomatic asset." June ran a hand through his hair. "I never expected this, Director. I was just doing my job as ambassador. And then, well, and then you fell in love with an alien supermodel and got her pregnant with a supposedly impossible baby." Director Kim finished for him. "The Science Ministry is calling it the diplomatic breakthrough of the century." "What are my new orders?" June asked. "Continue what you're doing. Be available for medical research as needed. And most importantly, keep that baby and Nara safe. The Galactic Council is voting next month on Earth's full membership. This situation has moved our application forward by decades." After the call ended, June looked out his window at the Celerian capital. When he arrived, he had been one of only 5 humans on the planet. Now there were over 50 scientists, diplomats, and security personnel. Speaking of security, it had become a major concern. Not all reactions to the pregnancy were positive. The Purist Collective, an alliance of species that believed in genetic isolation, had issued formal protests against what they called human genetic infiltration. Security around the human embassy had doubled overnight. June returned home to find Nara reviewing files on their living room screen. Her rounded belly was just becoming visible under her flowing silver dress. "Another medical interview request," she said without looking up. "This one from the Centauri Medical Academy. That's the 5th today." June sat beside her, noticing the dark circles under her eyes. "Are you worried?" he asked gently. "About the threats?" "No," she replied, taking his hand and placing it on her slightly rounded abdomen. "About becoming parents to the first human cell child in existence." "Absolutely." They felt a small movement under their hands. "The first kick." "He's strong," June whispered in awe. "She," Nara corrected with a smile. "Zell females always know." The next day, representatives from the Vega system arrived. Their species had been facing extinction for 3 centuries due to genetic degradation. They looked at June as if he held the key to their survival. "Your DNA could save our entire species," their lead scientist said during the meeting. "We are prepared to offer Earth exclusive mining rights to our moon system in exchange for genetic research cooperation." Similar offers came from other worlds. Human diplomats, once ignored at galactic meetings, were now courted by ancient spacefaring civilizations. Earth, previously seen as a backwater planet, suddenly found itself at the center of galactic politics. Nara decided to retire from modeling. "I've been offered a new position," she told June over dinner. "Interspecies Relations Director for the Galactic Council." "That's amazing," he said. "Are you taking it?" "Yes. Our child will be the first of many cross-species children if the research continues to advance. They'll need someone who understands both sides." One evening, as they watched a documentary about their relationship, the third made so far, Nara suddenly laughed. "What's funny?" June asked. 6 months ago, I was just a model assigned to show a human diplomat around my world. Now we're changing the future of multiple species." "Do you ever regret it?" June asked seriously. Nara's skin glowed with the warm golden color that June had learned meant love. "Never. That Excel have a saying. The universe places you exactly where you need to be." As her pregnancy progressed, Jun found himself unexpectedly central to Earth's rapidly expanding diplomatic influence. He was no longer just an ambassador, but a symbol of human adaptability, a quality that, as it turned out, was rare and precious in the vastness of space. "We came to the stars hoping to find friends," Jun told a gathering of diplomats. "Instead, we found family." The day of the birth arrived during a rare cosmic event, the perfect alignment of Solarian's 3 moons. Once every 62 years, the silver, green, and red moons formed a straight line across the night sky. According to Cell tradition, children born during this alignment were destined for greatness. "The contractions are getting closer," Nara said calmly, her skin shifting through rainbow colors with each wave of pain. The meeting room was tense. The Vex, reptilian beings with golden scales, sat on one side. The Cell Council members sat opposite, their postures rigid. "These talks have failed 3 times, the lead Vex delegate hissed. "What makes today different?" Jun smiled. "Today we're going to draw pictures." Everyone stared at him. "Ambassador Park, this is not a time for—" The Cell Council leader began. "Please trust me," Jun said, activating the room's holographic display. "Each side will draw what they think is a fair division of the asteroid belt. Then we'll find the overlap." To his relief, both sides reluctantly agreed. After an hour, a solution emerged that neither had considered before. Mining rights would rotate yearly, with processing rights shared equally. "How did you know this would work?" Nara asked as they left the meeting. "Humans often need to see problems to solve them. Words can get tangled, but pictures show truth." Nara's skin rippled with blue-green patterns, her version of a smile. "You humans solve problems in such unconventional ways. We call it thinking outside the box," Jun explained. "Outside the box?" She tilted her head. "It means thinking beyond normal limits." He laughed at her confusion. "I would like to learn more about these boxes and how to think outside them," she said. That conversation marked a change in their relationship. Nara began inviting Jun to places no human had seen. She took him to her family's crystal farm, where structures grew from the ground like transparent trees. "My ancestors have tended these crystals for 9 generations," she explained, running her 6-fingered hand along a smooth surface. "They're beautiful," Jun said, watching how her skin almost matched the blue crystals in the fading light. One weekend, a diplomatic crisis erupted during a feast with delegates from 12 worlds. The Vex ambassador made a comment that deeply offended the Cell Council leader. The room grew cold with tension. Jun stepped forward and told an Earth joke about a diplomat who walked into a bar with a parrot on his shoulder. The translation made little sense, but his exaggerated gestures and self-deprecating tone broke the ice. Soon, both Excel and Vex were attempting to tell their own jokes, creating a strange but friendly competition. "What was that?" Nara asked afterward. "Humor. Sometimes laughing together helps people forget why they were angry. Your species has strange wisdom," she said. After that success, Nara sought Jun's company, even when no diplomatic tasks required it. She showed him the hidden wonders of her world, the singing caves, the floating islands, the crystal waterfalls that reflected starlight in countless colors. In return, Jun shared Earth music, playing classical pieces and modern songs on his tablet. Nara was fascinated by human literature, especially poetry. One evening, they sat on a cliff watching Solarian's 3 moons rise. The largest was silver, the middle one green, and the smallest glowed red like a distant fire. "Our poets write about the moons as 3 sisters dancing," Nara said. "What would Earth poets say about this view?" "They'd write about beauty beyond words," Jun replied, looking not at the moons but at Nara's profile against the night sky. She turned to him, her eyes shifting colors in the moonlight. "Your species values emotional connection in ways mine has forgotten," she said softly. "We became so focused on logic and progress that we lost something important." As she spoke, Jun realized the professional lines between them had blurred into something he hadn't expected to find across the stars, a deep connection that transcended their different worlds. 6 months into his assignment on Solarian, Jun and Nara had become more than colleagues. Their relationship had deepened into something neither had expected. The Texel did not hold the same taboos about workplace romance as humans, and their connection had been accepted easily by both their teams. It was the 5th day of the Blue Moon cycle when Nara appeared at Jun's apartment door, unannounced. Her skin was pulsing with waves of color, something he had never seen before. "Nara, is everything okay?" he asked, stepping back to let her in.